So the real reason we're here today is we're going to put the spacers on my 911. Why are we putting spacers on the 911? Well, let me flip the camera around and I'll show you. Okay, so the front wheel actually looks pretty good. Front wheel doesn't look like it needs a spacer, but if you go in a little, you see how the fender sticks out past the wheel just a little bit. Just a little bit, not much, right? But look at the rear. The rear wheel is tucked, really tucked up inside there. See how much tuck that is? I mean, you can look at how much rear bumper. It kind of doesn't come off that well in the video, but how much rear bumper sticks out past the tire. Maybe if there you go. That gives you a better view. There's your tire and rim completely inside. What I'd like to do is, so I bought the 15mm spacers so we can get the wheel part flush with the edge of this here. And so I'm running Continentals, and the Continental sidewall curves in a little bit. If you run Michelin's, the sidewall is very square. It's more like Michelin sidewall is similar to this Pirelli sidewall over here on the Audi. See how the Pirelli sidewall is kind of vertical and it sticks out more, versus the Continental's kind of sidewalls rotate in. So on my car, I think with these type of tires, it'll probably look very, very nice. So first thing we need to do is play a little musical car so we can put the Porsche right in the middle. So give me a second here and we'll rearrange some cars. Alright, so I laid everything out that I think we're gonna need for this job. I'm missing one thing, but it's no big deal. I have it though. It's not missing. And get everything laid out. Make sure we have everything before we even start, because you don't want to be doing something, get halfway or 3/4 in, and then realize, oh crap, I'm missing something else. So let's see what we got here. We got our torque wrench, so we can torque it at the end. We've got our special locking nut adapter for that one lock nut for the Porsche wheels. Got our socket, got our drill. After we break the torque, I use a drill to take them off. Use a drill to spin them on. Never trust an impact or a drill for your torque. Always use your torque wrench. Our floor jack, I know we need to buy a low profile big pole one, and with the hockey pucks and all that. We'll get it eventually. So what do we have in the boxes? We've got some new bolts with washers on them. These are from FD Motorsport, same place I got my exhaust. And this is the rear. So this is a 15mm for the rear. And actually, we're going to start on the rear. I've got this all set in front of on the front, but we're going to start on the rear. Included in here. Included also a wheel guide, which is awesome. So no more scraping wheels or trying to manhandle them. You can just put this on and slide the wheel over this. So that's the rears. We got 2 rears, nothing else in that box. Let's look at the other box. And the brand is RSS, Road Sport Supply. This is sold through FD Motorsports. Well, actually, you can buy it directly from them, I guess. But I bought this from FD Motorsports. I bought my Fister exhaust from FD Motorsports and love it. I'm going to buy my Sharkworks exhaust from FD Motorsports. Oops. Okay, I wasn't supposed to tell you that. But yeah, we're gonna do a center muffler delete and add the Sharkworks X pipe on this here soon. All right, so this one is the front one. It's engraved RSS, and it says on there 7mm this side out. It's got a tiny little lip, but I don't think that's going to make a difference as far as going into the wheel or not. But the backside is countersunk, so we'll. I think this will fit just fine. I've seen these installed all the time. The rear is the one that I'm more concerned with, whether it will fit or not. I think it'll be fine, or FD Motorsports wouldn't be selling it, and they've done lots of 997s and 991s and what else they got, 964s, 930s, all versions of the 911. And yeah, if they're selling something, they've tried it. So let's get started. Put the camera in time lapse and fast forward, and get to work. Oh, and another thing we're doing, so you see the bucket over there. As we pull the wheel off, we're going to clean it inside and out. You might as well while you have it off, and also inspect all your links and connections inside since you have the wheel off. Alright, so we got the first wheel off. Here's a 15 mil spacer. My tire's trying to roll away from me. I got stopped. Alright. For a 15 mil spacer, here's a little tang on the axle, or the hub, whatever you want to call it. Fits perfect. Does the holes line up? Let's check. Holes line up. All the thread holes line up perfectly. So that's not a problem. That fits nice and snug on there. Then I put it on the wheel side. That's the most important part. And let's get this out of the sun. Sun's not helping. Okay, so we'll put this on the wheel, and it gets in there. Get that in there. But it stops. It is super tight, and it's not sitting flush. I can squeeze it in there by hand, but I think what I'm going to try to do first is I'm going to clean the wheel, and I'm going to take a wire brush to this stuff here. That might be all it needs. Take a wire brush to this, clean it off, and then see if it sits flush. If it sits in there flush without pressing it in, we'll use it. Okay, we ran into one slight little issue, which I was worried about. So that beveled end is the almost exact diameter of the wheel, so it fits super tight. Now, as you see it there, I was able to do that by hand. So not a lot of force, I just put it in by hand. So I think it probably is the right size. It probably is just the thickness of the paint on the wheel, or something is maybe 1-2 mils too much. Not a huge deal. And this is right about where certified Porsche mechanics are going to be yelling at me, don't do it, don't do it. I'm going to put this in anyways. It's super snug. But one thing I learned from 15-20 years ago, when I used to get aftermarket wheels on my Volkswagens, and you could never get the balance right because you couldn't get a hub-centric ring that fit just right because it couldn't fit snug. So it always danced just a little bit. This is the opposite. This is airtight. Probably, from what I know in my aviation background, the right way to do it is to take this, freeze it, get it as cold as you can. You warm up the wheel, just a little. You can actually just put it in the sun, or you can, if you have a little propane, handheld propane thing, heat it up, and then you mate the two surfaces together after one's frozen, one's hot, and it'll slide right in perfectly. And as the temperature equalizes between the two, it seals it up. So it has a perfect, tight tolerance, close fit. And I've already put this on the axle over there, so I know it fits like it should. It's just a little snug inside here. That's okay. We're just going to tap it around. Alright, so it looks flush all the way around. Huh? I'm talking to my YouTube family. You want to say hi to the YouTube? No. No? Okay. Alright, so there's a little gap right there. Is that dirt? That's dirt. It's just dirty. So it's pretty much flush all the way around. So what we'll do is put this on the car and torque them to the right spec, and it should sit nice and flush. So the torque, I looked it up here. Where's the torque? I just saw it a second ago. Oh, here it is. And it's in bold. Torque is, immediately after changing the wheel, 96 foot-pounds is the torque. 130 Newton meters. It's 96 foot-pounds. So, I'll put that here. You can look at the wheel. Nice clean wheel. So here's your size difference in factory bolts and the new bolts with the space, with the for those spacers. You can see the height difference. This camera. You know what? I'll lay them down. There you go. So, laying them down. Try to put them even. There you go. There's your difference in length. All right, back to work. Because the spacers are new, it's new metal, just like when you get new wheels after 100, 150 miles, recheck your torque. Don't just torque it one time and think, oh, it's good for life. Check it, because things vibrate, things move, things shift a little. You might find a bolt or two that may need to be retorqued. You may not. It all depends. Also, I used a wire brush to clean off any brake dust and debris, so I have a nice flush surface. There's a ongoing debate whether or not to use anti-seize or some kind of paste between the surfaces. I elected not to do it just because I did. I don't want to add fuel to the debate. I just chose not to do it. Whether you want to or not, it's up to you. So here you go. You can see 15 mil spacer on that one, on that wheel, and you can see the 10 mil spacer on that one. So driver's side is done, and just looking at it, camera does not do a great job of it, but especially the rear wheel, it looks so much beefier and meatier. I mean, the muscular, I guess that's the right word for it. The rim itself, the way it protrudes now, the rim just looks really muscular. Of course, also they're clean, so they look better. So this side is done. Let's compare it to the other side. This side is not done. And yeah, I mean, especially the rear wheel. The front wheel doesn't really change that much. It comes out a little, yes, but as far as how it looks, in terms of how it looks, it doesn't pop. The rear wheel, the rim itself, I mean, same rim, but it's being tucked in there. It's like it's being hidden. See, I think that's probably the best angle I can get. You can see the wheel is hidden, and I'll try to stand on the exact same spot on the other side. Let's go to the other side again. So I'm going to stand, there's a crack on my garage floor. So I'll stand right on that crack. And there you go. See how that wheel comes out, not hidden? Oh my God. So this is with the spacers installed. From the front. I'll do one from the back too. Spacers installed, you can't really see the back. You can see the front. This is no spacers installed. Actually, you know, it really gives me that, look at the old pictures of the 959, how it's, the body overhangs over the wheels. It's kind of what it reminds me of. These wheels are dirty too on this side, so it's not fair. So this is no spacer. Completely stock. And this is spacer. This is spacer installed. I like it. I was worried it was going to stick out too far, but I really like it. So I'm not going to bore you to death with the other side. The other side, I'm just going to do it. Just going to do it. I'll put it in time lapse, and I might even fast forward the time lapse. As you guys saw everything I needed to point out on this side, I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll go for a ride. But everything's torqued. Just double check the torque. Everything's good. Everything looks flush, and it's torqued to the right spec. We'll drive the car around. We'll check it again in 50 miles. We'll check it again in 100 miles or so. Make sure nothing has backed off. I think we'll be fine. So the OEM wheels are the same lug nuts. The ones they send you, they do send you longer ones for the back, which I'm glad I paid attention to that. It makes sense. 15 millimeter. You're adding 15 millimeters to the rear. You're only adding 7 to the front. You need the longer ones in the back. So all that being said, we're done. And I tell you, I am pleasantly surprised by the stance. The wheel fills the arch completely now. There's none of this hiding under the body like wheels hiding under a dress. They're not too far out. Oh yeah, I absolutely love it. I love it. And again, videos don't do it justice whatsoever. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I know there's a million other videos of people putting spacers on the cars, and I just wanted to do my own little video and answer any questions that you might have. I can tell you, since I shot this video, I've probably put about 500 plus miles on the car, and it handles great. There's no funky vibration, no wobbles, nothing, none of that. It might be a placebo effect, but in my opinion, actually the suspension actually even feels a little bit better. The handling is for sure better, especially going around corners at speed. I definitely feel a difference. Not huge, but I do feel a little bit better performance. The front wheel spacer was a piece of cake. The rear wheel spacer, it was very tight. I mean, it would get started and then it would stop because the tolerances were so tight. One of the things I touched on in my video, but I really didn't elaborate really well, is, for example, in a helicopter rotor system, there's a couple different bearings and I guess bearings they're not really bearings, but there's parts that go together like a sleeve, and you always have to freeze one. We use dry ice, and in the other part that's going to go around it, you usually heat that one up in an oven. When you put the two together, one's really hot, one's really cold, but the hot one's going to expand and the cold one's going to freeze. And actually, even in airplanes, when you're putting in bearings in landing gear, not in the wheels, but bearings in the landing gear components, the arms and stuff, you usually freeze those in liquid nitrogen, and they sit and they fit perfect inside the dimensions of the cutout. They're where they're supposed to be. Immediately it starts heating up right away. As soon as it heats up and expands, it's sealed in, airtight, super tight, like it should be. I think these spacers are the same kind of scenario. The reason they are so tight is because their tolerances are tight, so you don't get any vibrations, so you don't get any wobbles, and it actually gives you a performance benefit from it. So would I do it again? Absolutely. If you guys want to do it, it's an easy DIY. You can do it in your garage by yourself. I did it by myself. And the other reason I can't show you the car right now, we didn't do the drive, is because I had to leave town. I'm out of town for work right now. Actually, I'm in Miami for work, but I am heading back because we got the trip planned. And the other part is the exhaust part. I'm gonna make a whole another video about the exhaust. Let's just say we open the can of worms with the exhaust. We'll talk about that in another video. But this video was about the wheel spacers. If you have any questions, any concerns, hit me up. You can get these wheels at fdmotorsports.com. I'll put the link in the description. Reach out to Will at FD Motorsports. I got lucky. Actually, one time Darren Pfister himself answered the phone, and it was super cool to talk to Darren for a few minutes. I love everything they do there at FD Motorsports, and I'll continue supporting them and buying stuff from them. And so there's no discount. Sorry, I'm not big. I'm not super popular on YouTube. I don't have a discount to give you. I paid full price. I didn't get a discount either. But thanks for watching the videos, and I'm gonna keep making more content for you guys. Later.